Hello, hello. Welcome back to Jilly's Nails. We're on day 3 of 31 days of Halloween. I am so going to have a hard time keeping that straight as we go on. Anyway, so for today's video, I started it a little differently if you notice. We are already painted. I used Oont Peel Off base coat. I used 2 coats of Sinful colors. I believe it's called Dust Rose or Rose Dust. And now I went through and just put on my Sally Hansen clear coat. I'm checking here to make sure it's dry. And we are ready to prep for stamping. I cannot talk today. I'm sorry. I also sound really snotty, and it's the joy of ragweed in Arkansas in the fall is everywhere. It doesn't go away, and I'm allergic to everything. So, excuse me. We're going through. We're putting the peel off. Yes, that thing. We're putting that stuff on. It's Pueen's peel off latex barrier. And I do that because my cuticles are really dry. Yes, I oil them all the time, obsessively, like 5 times a day, or anytime I see cuticle oil, or anytime I think that they're dry at all. I'm obsessed. I just still have really dry cuticles. So, I'm putting this on because it will keep the black from sticking to my skin as much, and I really wanted to use black on this design. It's super cute. Oh goodness, my sinuses are making me crazy. I have to keep stopping the video so that I can breathe. Anyway, I'm just double checking again to make sure everything is dry before I go in and actually stamp. And on that Pueen latex, you can see it's getting darker. That's how you know it's dry, and that's one of the things I really like about that one. It makes it easy to see when you go to peel it off, and you can also easily tell when it's dry. So it is one of my favorites. And then I'm going to go into the Walgreens Maximum Strength Acetone. I love this stuff in this container. It's not necessarily about the acetone that's in it, but the container has little scratchers on the inside. So as you run your fingers up and down, which may be why my cuticles look dry and toned up, but if you kind of run your finger up and down inside of it, it's got little scratchers on it, and it is awesome for getting stuff off your nails if it's stuck on there like glitter or little bits of acetone, not acetone, acrylic or gel. Oh, it helps so much to get that stuff off faster. I really like that container. And so what happens is when it gets nasty and turns purple and all that stuff, I'll dump it out, I'll rinse it out, and then I'll put new acetone back in it until the container literally falls apart. I'm very frugal like that. Now, I'm going to go into some acetone here and clean off this plate. It's a new plate. I just took the film off of it, so I want to make sure everything is clean and prepped very well for my stamping. So if you want to go in and clean it off a little bit early, that way it makes sure it gives plenty of time for it to dry. And we're going to grab the Maniology monocle stamper. That's not the ice cube, it's the monocle. And I'm just going to tap that on the lint roller too to make sure it's clean and prepped for stamping. This is Maniology Straight Up Black Polish. It is one of the best black polishes I've ever seen. And if you noticed, I applied the polish down the length of the stamp and scraped across first and then down. Now, I noticed that I said I try to always stamp, or scrape just once. That's not always true. I scrape twice a lot. And I do that to make sure we have full coverage on the plate. And if you notice there in that corner, I did miss a little section, but it didn't matter because it's not going to fit on my nail right now anyway. So I just worked around it. Press straight down, hold it for a second or two, and then lift up. If you have to, you can rock it a little bit, but when it's on really intricate designs like this, I do not recommend that. So I picked everything up. We're going to clean off the plate really well. And then notice I got some, like it was a really saturated cotton ball and it got some stuff everywhere. So just pick a cleaner side and wipe with that. The black polish, you may have to change the cotton pad a lot more if you're doing more stamping than just 1 or 2 nails. It's very opaque and you can just re-smear it on other surfaces very easily. So we're going to go in. And again, apply down the long side of the stamp, and I tapped over that little section where it didn't pick up before just to show you how you can fix errors like that if you're really having a hard time with something coming up. And I noticed I scraped that one a lot. I don't know why. It was being weird, like it didn't want to pick up, but look at that. It came out perfect. So we're going to stamp that one onto the other finger. press down, and I could not see that one on film. Sorry, I had to flip it. But that is what we've got. That's what it looks like. I went through, I took off the latex barrier. I'm just checking to make sure it's dry. And I haven't talked about this yet on my channel, and I want to make sure that I point this out. 9 times out of 10, if your top coat smears your stamping, it's not your top coat, it's you. I know that all of these videos make it look like you only have to let that dry for a couple seconds before you put a top coat on, and that is not true. You need to wait until whatever design you've stamped is dry and you're sure it's dry. Sometimes some stamping polishes apply thicker than others, but once you're sure it's dry, you also need to float your top coat. Now, there are a couple top coats that I've used in the years that will make it run later. However, they are far and few between, so if you're using a quick dry top coat, you should not have smearing. It should not be running. It means that you're not letting your polish dry long enough, or that you're dragging your brush through it and you're not floating the polish. So, the other thing that I wanted to show you that I don't think I've talked about yet is cuticle oil. Yes, I obsessively use it. I have bottles all over my house that I fill up when they need to be filled up, and I constantly use this stuff. The Sally Hansen one I really like, but it's kind of pricey. So you can get this bottle of jojoba oil from Amazon for like 10 bucks. I've had it for about 6 months to a year, somewhere in there, a long time. And it works great. It's a cheap way to refill your bottles. And I just get empty polish bottles and fill them up with cuticle oil and paint it on that way. So here is the final design, this kind of filigreed gothic skull look. I love it. I hope you loved it. Please give me a comment. Let me know what you want to see in the future. Like, subscribe, and share these videos. And there's also a playlist